And here is more of my exclusive interview with President Trump aboard Air Force One. The UAE is committed $1.5 trillion. Saudi Arabia, $1 trillion. Apparently you had ordered a new Air Force One in your first term. They're years behind in terms of its production.
It's a Boeing, and when I came to office, the Obama people had ordered it, but they didn't sign yet, so I was supposed to sign. They were at about $5.7 trillion. It's actually, as you know, Air Force One is actually two Boeing 747s, and they had agreed to a price of $5.7 billion. And through a series of little negotiations, I got it down very, very substantially by a lot.
With the new design?
Well, it's pretty much the same plane with the new paint color, if you want to know the truth. We're painting it red, white, and blue like the American flag, which is incredible. Much more beautiful and much more representative of us. So anyway, I got the price way down by a lot and ordered it. And when I came, I said, the plane, where's the plane? And they said, it's late. And I said, why would it be late? You know, I went through a whole term and where we had an election that was absolutely rigged. And because of that, this is a much more historic presidency, I would say. But I said, where's the plane? And they are having difficulty. I'm not happy with Boeing, but we're going to work on Boeing. And Boeing's got some unbelievable people working for it, so I'm not going to do anything bad to Boeing. But they had a strong contract. I wrote the contract. It was a guaranteed price contract. And if I wanted to, I could, hurt Boeing, and I don't want to hurt Boeing. But they are very late with the plane, and Qatar heard about it, and he's a great leader. And we were talking, and he said, if I can help you, let me do that. And they had a plane, not a new plane at all, but they had a plane. And these planes, the plane that you're on right now is almost 40 years old. And when you land and you see Saudi Arabia and you see UAE and you see Qatar and you see all these, and they have these brand new Boeing 747s mostly, and you see ours next to it, this is like a totally different plane. It's much smaller, it's much less impressive as it is. And we're the United States of America. I believe that we should have the most impressive plane. So anyway, so they said to me, we would like to, in effect, we would like to make a gift. You've done so many things, and we'd like to make a gift to the Defense Department, which is where it's going. And I said, well, that's nice. Now, some people say, oh, you shouldn't accept gifts for the country. My attitude is, why wouldn't I accept a gift? We're giving to everybody else. Why wouldn't I accept a gift? Because it's going to be a couple of years, I think, before the Boeings are finished. And they'll be wonderful when they're finished, but that's a long time.
Part of your argument how the United States has paid untold billions and trillions of dollars securing every aspect of the world?
Well, I said that. I said, we've secured that part of the world for many years. So if somebody makes a gift, then I get nothing. I get to fly it like any other president would. Ultimately, it'll be at the end of its lifetime or at the end of the term, because we're going to have the other ones in by that time.
So the U.S. is kind of giving them gifts. It's called national defense.
Yeah. No, security. Well, we give a lot of gifts. We give too many gifts, to be honest with you. We give gifts to defend countries. They wouldn't even exist. Many countries wouldn't even exist. All over the world, countries wouldn't even exist. But I thought it was a beautiful gesture. Now, there are those that say we shouldn't be accepting gifts to the Defense Department. And I would say only a stupid person would say that. Why wouldn't we do that? And so it helps us out because we'll have a relatively new plane instead of having 40-year-old planes. These planes are 40 years old, and that's not representative of our country.
Let me go to the other side, and that's the national security equation. And I know every one of these countries that we will be stopping at here and we'll be reporting on this show, every one of them is worried about one country, and that is Iran. #1 state sponsor of terror. And obviously the Iranians, you've been very, very clear. They can't get a nuke.
Right.
They can't enrich. According to published reports, they could be 3 to 6 months away from being a nuclear power.
There won't be a nuclear power. Let me just explain. I'm all for Iran. I want them to have a wonderful country and make a lot of money. They have great oil reserves. But if you remember, when I was president, Iran was broke because I placed secondary sanctions, meaning you couldn't buy, if you bought oil, you couldn't deal with the United States. And people make a lot of money dealing with the United States. So basically, they weren't selling any oil to almost anybody. It was down to a trickle, almost nothing. And by the time it all came about, after a couple of years, they had no money. And they didn't have money for Hamas, they didn't have money for Hezbollah, they didn't have any money at all. And we had no threat. And when Biden came in, he took off the sanctions and he let them get very rich. And now they have $350 billion or more, which is a tremendous amount. They made great wealth. With oil, you make great money, great wealth quickly. And they have tremendous oil and tremendous reserves. And Biden freed them up from what I did.
And coming up, Louisiana Senator. We are in Riyadh. We're in Saudi Arabia. Also, Clay Travis tonight. Straight ahead.